What an awful day with YouTube, man.
It's things of you have had your. I think I see it now. Okay, this is now. I think we should be live with no issues, and hopefully the chat's working. That was weird that chat worked and then didn't work.
Yeah, it's like age restricted us immediately. Okay, now I see it.
You see it? All
Yeah,
right,
I
we
see the
just got
chat.
another. All right. The chat's rolling. That was really weird.
Guys, sorry. We're YouTube is on anything that says final round today.
But Jordan, we fight through.
We fight through. You've been through it,
Yeah. Um.
man.
Yeah. Let's just make sure that this all stays peachy.
Yeah, won't say anything mean.
You could be me. Oh, not about me, right?
I mean, I have my thoughts. I'll keep it to myself.
Okay. All right. What do we got here? All right. Well, now we got some people in here. We were back up. We were up, and now we went down. We're back up.
Someone said it was a kid video, so I think you made it for kids.
No, that's what I checked. It said no, it's not made for kids. I checked that. That was the first thing that I looked at.
Huh.
Don't
Interesting.
see you're now the meanness is coming out. You're trying to pin it on me.
Well,
We
no,
got
that's what
we
someone
got we
said.
got the we got the we got the wild west,
It was
wanted man of YouTube right now, and we're trying to pin it on a technicality.
it's all good. We'll just take that one down, guys. We have more topics today. We have more just to talk about. If you guys just want to know what's going on, Ev's been through what I'm going through right now. I'm basically going to be posting. Yeah, someone says I was blocked. Yeah, I'm basically going to be posting on this channel for a week. It's not going. I'm not going to be spending 4 hours just because the algorithm doesn't love this channel yet. But I normally spend 4 to 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours on a video just to break down a slate and find plays. But it's just not going to be worth it for the next 7 days. But I am going to find 2 to 4 plays that I really love, and I'm gonna be dropping them on this channel, and just get through till Tuesday. I did take the past 2 days off intentionally. I normally don't bet Sundays. Sundays are crazy. And then Monday looked like a Sunday. When you have a 1 o'clock game, 2:30, 3 o'clock, 5, you get a lot of blowouts, and that is exactly what we
Yep.
got. So I backed off and decided to make one today, and they came after me. So it's going to be, and they didn't overturn it this time. So it's going to be 7 days. So you'll see me again back on my channel next Tuesday.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it is. It's really, obviously, really annoying. Like you said, I've gone through it too. I think the good thing is that look at these people in here now early in the stream too, like the eyeballs on the other end and the minds and the actual humans that we talk to each. And I think we've talked this before too. A lot of like people that make content and everything will get fixated on numbers and everything like that, and you kind of lose touch of like what is actually being built. It really feels like a ding to your soul when all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm building something a little bit more special. And it's almost like you get slapped in the wrist for that. But my point here is that I do think you're going to have a lot of other people, still support you and still be able to go where you go, which is really important. I learned that the hard way, but almost like it's a really amazing thing to see. And clearly you even see that here with a lot of people in the chat right now. One thing that I will say is like, at least it's possible. You know what I mean? Like all these people are in the chat and um, it's not just by happenstance, right? They either like you, they like me. You're more likable than me, so it's probably that they like you.
it's definitely not that.
I don't know. I'm just confident in you. I know that's kind of sappy and I didn't even say that to you before we started recording, but I do think that is one of the good things that happens. And yeah, we see the chat here. A lot of people are being like, oh, but other people, I don't think that there's really a method to the madness. Like even to some of these responses in here, like when it was happening to me, I felt like, hey, but this guy and this guy and this guy. It's unfortunate that that type of thing goes nowhere because there's not much Jordan can do at this moment. But at least he's gonna have an outlet here, I guess, if that makes sense. Um, and Jordan, you obviously have an awesome Discord and stuff like that. So as you grind through it, I just think anyone that's actually listening live right now, just maybe look out more than you would for Jordan because it's not going to be as simple as boom, this popped up on my YouTube home screen, from here on out.
Yeah, but for the people, the 32 people in here, the ones who actually do care, um, I'm gonna be completely fine because like my work severance is still going. So this was kind of like a YouTube full-time trial. Ev just like dove into the water. It just he's just like I'm doing it, and that's why he's just grinding. But I still have my severance, which is coming in. So I'm gonna be completely fine. It does suck when you want to kind of give it a try, and then this happens. I'm gonna be out for a week, and then like you look at Luca crawling around, you're like, man, I gotta work for him. I gotta do something for that little guy right there. So it does suck. So we'll see what I decide in the future when it comes like full time job and everything. But the channel's not going away completely or anything like that. So it'll
And
always continue.
and we got a couple comments. One, I don't know if I mean, I think he's a guppy, but this is not the reason. Jordan doesn't share revenue with sports books that he promotes from losses or anything like that. It's a stupid thing to comment, stupid thing to think. But Timothy, you're probably a smart guy. Anyways, yeah, so that is it. Jordan, I will say too, like, taking days off and whatnot, when that type of thing happens, it does feel like a gut punch. Like, and you even mentioned, I'm not going to be spending 4 hours researching or anything like that. It's not because it's like, oh, it's not necessarily worth it, which it, I guess, wouldn't be. But at the same time, it's like the wins out of your sails and for the love of the game. You know what I mean? Just for a short period of time, it really does stink.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll be all right because the sports books do pay me. They tell me, who's going. They tell me exactly what's going to happen that night.
You
So
see you see the script,
yeah.
which
So
yeah,
yeah, just a regular guy, with a family. They just tell me exactly what's going to happen. So I tell you guys the opposite, uh, just
yeah,
so you can lose. Yeah, every
yeah.
single time. So I'm going to be all right, because,
Yeah.
FanDuel and DraftKings are sending me the check. But
The sob story is all fake in order for you to somehow gain in the long run, right?
no, but guys, if they were really doing that, I would become a millionaire because I'd be betting it on the side and I wouldn't have a channel anymore. So the guys who have channels, the guys who actually are told the bets, they don't have channels.
Yeah,
So
you don't
yeah,
know their names.
pretty much.
Um, but yeah, I will say, I mean, we don't have to spend the whole show talking, and unless you want to, because hey, I want you to get as much eyeballs on
Oh
this
no,
as you want. But I will say, it takes the winds out of your sails. I've been through it. I ended up on my feet. Knock on wood, it keeps working. So I am confident you will. And then secondarily, anyone that's like thinking that this is some sort of there was when I did that and I started, posting elsewhere and whatnot. People were like, "This is just a big play to be able to to get more subscribers elsewhere and all of this. They're gonna come back." And and I'm like, well, why would I ever we have a train moving? At least that's the confidence that I have. A train moving in the right direction. Why did I say, hey, someone go up ahead and just derail the tracks? Let's cause this crash so that we can, just see if we could do it all over again. It's silly, right? And I don't know if you've seen enough of that yet. Obviously, we got a couple people in the comments being dummies about it. But
Is that what they're saying? They're saying that I'm pretending I got a strike just to
I,
build this
I
channel.
I wouldn't be surprised if you do get it. I know that we got Mr. MacGyver over here that's saying he's going to report us because we're lying. But hey, good guy.
Okay, cool.
I'm just kidding. I he told me to grow up. Hey, you're in our comments here. This is why I told you Jordan's a better guy than me.
Yeah, to be one of the first 38 people here, I appreciate, whoever is here, whether,
Mhm.
whatever they're saying. I don't care.
Um,
But
all
we
right.
do have some
Let's
NBA
talk some NBA.
topics. Yeah, let's talk about some NBA.
All right, Jordan. We talked about John Morant last week, right?
We did. Yeah,
and
we
we
were
were.
way. We talked about a lot of rumors last week, and apparently none of them were true.
Do you think that? Do you think that like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? We talked about potential trades, and now as we get closer to the deadline, all of a sudden it's like, oh, none of these are happening. None of these had interest. We could still have been right originally. You know what I mean? It's like right now the latest reports make us sound like we were dummies talking about Warriors Michael Porter Jr. or Ja Morant where he's gonna go and all that type of stuff. But at the same time, things change like with the win. Ja Morant has one good game in London, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, I have the team tatted on my back. That's where I wanted to that's where I want to play. That's where I want to stay." I still think that we could be seeing him be moved.
Well, first of all, the Michael Porter Jr. to the Warriors, it sounded pretty good.
I still think it is.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're not interested at all. I think they that's another topic we'll get into now that there's an injury. I think they might be interested, but
Yeah,
yeah, John Morant all of a sudden has a really good game. I mean, he I checked his box scores before he came back from the injury. He was still playing pretty well. I think
he's
there was a
not had a
40
bad
point.
year. It's weird. He's not had a bad year. The team's fine with him or without him. I think that the without him is probably why people make this up. Just like when they're like, "Oh, the Sixers are better without Embiid," and Paul George is like, "But are they? Small sample size. Blah blah blah."
Yeah, I think it had more to do with the way they started off the year and the coaching. Their rotation was weird. Like they were playing like 10, 11 guys deep, and if I'm the star player, like I don't want to be playing 28 minutes a night. Like
Yeah,
give me 35 to, 38 minutes, like a Tyrese Maxey type of guy, and let me go drop, 30 and get 10 assists. And then get my numbers up. I want to be an all-star. I got the talent to do it. So, John Morant has a really good game, and all of a sudden he's like, guys, I want to stay here. I was never feeling that way. I got a tattoo on my back, all that stuff. But I definitely think there's potential for him to be traded still.
yeah.
And I know the market for him doesn't sound too great. It sounds like it's a Trey Young type of trade value for him.
Which is
So
which is crazy. I know that we talked about last week. Remember, I was like, "Oh, I don't think he's a premier point guard." You said he is. I think I kind of walked back to your side, but like, if I'm taking Trey Young or John Morant right now, you get a younger guy with maybe more, not maybe, probably more upside in John Morant than Trey Young. Like, he should have way, way, way more value than Trey Young ever did.
well, yeah, the rumors were all over the place. There was like the Miami Heat were interested. He was interested in the Miami Heat.
Yeah,
I even read that he bought a $3 million home in Miami.
I saw that too.
That was a rumor, and then all of a sudden Miami wasn't interested.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but that
there's
is at
there's
this
smoke everywhere.
at the same time too. It's like when I first read that rumor, I was like, well, it's also Miami. You know what I mean? Like people are about like that's an up and coming market. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if NBA players are just buying houses in Miami right now to begin with. I will say this: he was a day when he had that good game in London, right? He was a day or two removed from almost getting in a fist fight with Vince Williams at a shoot around. So no one can sit here and be like, oh no, no, they're all good. And someone like transcribed and had like a mic, I think it's Legends on Twitter or something of the thing, and it was literally like Vince Williams saying, hey, let's handle this around back, and John Morant was like, I'm right here. That wasn't like, hey, what are you getting your Chipotle burrito, dude? Like they were literally going back and forth. Now they didn't actually fight, but I don't think that that type of thing gets one game remedy and all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's go, sunshines, rainbows, we're gonna be good. I still think there's a good chance Ja gets moved, even though we're starting to see rumors that are against that. Like, let's see him have a stretch of 3 bad games in a row, and all of a sudden it's like, now I don't want to be here anymore. Like, it's grass is always greener in a sense. I feel like in his brain.
Yeah, I mean, you also have like what is being said behind closed doors, and then what is being said when a reporter comes to ask you, "Are you happy?" Because
Yep.
we hear about Giannis not being happy, and then all of a sudden he's asked about, do you want to be traded? And he's like, "No, I don't want to be traded. I'm loyal. If they trade me, it's because they wanted to get rid of me."
Yep.
Same thing, John Morant. You hear behind closed doors, he's not happy. Reporter comes and asks him, "Do you want to be traded?" He's like, "No, I'm happy here." It's like, do you want to be Jimmy Butler from last year, who just when the reporters actually asked him, he was honest, like,
Yeah.
I lost my joy and all and all that. do you want to be that type of guy? Because now that's like stuck in my brain every time I see Jimmy Butler. I had a different perception of him from the starting five on Netflix, him playing chess and everything. I'm like, Jimmy Butler's a cool dude. He's
Yep.
sophisticated. And then all of a sudden he's like, I lost my joy and all, and then he gets traded. So
Yeah.
sorry, I'm reading the comments.
I'm just giving these people a shout out. We got a bunch of good comments. I know it's throwing you off.
Yeah, but no, if I'm a player like that and I'm behind closed doors and I'm not happy, I'm gonna let management know, and then whoever is the whistleblower in the room, they're gonna let Shams know what's going on. But then
Yep.
when I get asked by a reporter, I'm gonna say I'm cool here, whatever happens happens, and all that. So
Yep.
I do think he gets moved, and it's definitely gonna be interesting where he ends up. Which we do have another topic, and I think this is a good segue for the Giannis
Yeah.
teams
Um,
waiting on Giannis.
yeah. I think that, I do have a quick like take on this and I briefly mentioned to you before we hit the go live button. To me, if you're like saving for Giannis, you better be in a pretty good situation right now. You look at some of these teams that are rumored where he's going and all of that, and it's like, it's okay to wait out, this next free agency to get Giannis or something like that. But to put all your eggs in the basket of that happening is kind of crazy to me. Like, you're gonna miss out on the Michael Porter Juniors of the world or something like that. And I know that Giannis is a better player than John Morant's of the world, right? Giannis is a way better player than any of those guys. I mean, it's going to be hard to list a guy better than Giannis that's on the trade block. But at the same time, you kind of got to swing at a fastball when you get it. You can't always wait on the fastball. And I think that that's sort of the analogy I look at for some of these teams that are like, hey, yeah, we're gonna wait it out till Giannis. Like, okay, Miami wants to wait for Giannis. What if free agency rolls around and Giannis is either happy in Milwaukee or he's like, I don't want to play in Miami? And then it's like, well, what did we wait for, right? So that's kind of where I stand. I think it's a little silly. I mean, franchise dependent, but a little silly to wait for someone like Giannis if you're not already, okay if you don't get him in a sense.
I mean, the four teams rumored to not be making a move right now. One of them's kind of funny. It's the Lakers. Kind of makes sense, but with LeBron's contract, like that's gonna be hard to move and make that deal.
Right.
Warriors are potentially wanting to trade Jimmy Butler now that he's hurt.
Yep.
The Heat seem to be in on like everyone. And then the last one's the Hawks. The Hawks don't want to make a move unless Giannis becomes available. You just had a guy that could potentially be in a deal to make it really sweet to get Giannis. It's funny
But
that the Hawks
but
are on that list.
but they got CJ McCollum.
Oh
You're
yeah,
forgetting that. You're
they got
forgetting
an
that.
expiring contract there to get Giannis.
instead of
Congratulations.
Giannis's expiring contract.
Right. So it's always the Lakers are always there. So it just doesn't make sense to me to sit there and wait for a guy who probably it's so hard to make a deal like that. Go and make your deal now while the price is right for other guys because you're right. Michael Porter Jr. could be gone. DeMar DeRozan's name's out there, could
Mhm.
be gone. And if you wait too late, then yeah, you're going to be in a play-in game. And I mean, these some of these teams might be there anyway.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But Giannis, I mean, he could be worth it, but it's too hard to make a deal on a guy like that. The contract's just so hard to maneuver
Yep.
unless LeBron's willing to be like, hey, I'll go to Milwaukee.
Yep.
You know,
What do you make of this? Sparky in the chat says Giannis is getting too injury prone. He might be getting to, but this is still a guy that's played 60 plus games every year. Which I'm not saying 60 is like the barometer or the benchmark of like, hey, you've played a lot. That's still missing a ton of games. But I don't know if like I think Giannis is still very much a piece that like Giannis is still the type of guy that you hope to get in a trade, in free agency, in a draft. Like Giannis is still that dude to me, and I think people may be down on him because the Bucks aren't as good as we've seen in years past. But I still think like Sparky, I just hate to disagree a little bit that like I don't know if someone's thinking like I don't think we can get Giannis because he's too injury prone. I would say someone thinks they should get Giannis because he's so dominant. And let's cross that injury bridge when we get there.
so I guess my perception If a guy is starting to get injured a little bit more, when I think injury prone, I'm thinking Anthony Davis. But
Well,
I
that
watched
is
the
that's there's a spectrum here, and that might be
yeah.
as far. I don't know if I were to push back a little. That may be like the bot. I think that too, but that's injury prone,
That's
man.
injury prone. Like you're
Yeah,
hurting yourself on nothing
mm,
and you're out for months. Like
yeah,
that's injury prone to me. So I don't think he's necessarily there. It's like how much do you want to give up for him though? Because as a
that's fair.
Cleveland
Yeah,
Browns fan, we gave up the house for Deshaun Watson and he became injury prone, very injury prone, and like it wasn't worth it at all. So like what are you willing to give for a guy who could potentially become that? And in the NBA, teams are willing to give five. I forgot what the rule was of like the maximum amount of picks. I know you can do you have to do every other
right,
year,
right.
but yeah, you how much do you want to give up for a guy who is getting older?
Yep, fair.
Yeah, where you get set back so many years. Yeah, and being an I mean the Browns already set themselves back. No matter who they get.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
But yeah, like how
and
many first round picks do you want to give up?
And to be completely, frank here, if all of a sudden Giannis gets injured and it's like, dude, that guy's getting a ton of massages, maybe like you already, sorry, had to do it to a Browns fan. Anyways, yes, I do think that Giannis. I mean, I think he's still worth it, even if he's getting older. I get it, but he's still a like mortgage the future on type of a guy to me. The minute he goes to a team, if they're good around him, you immediately become depending on, I mean, there's a select few teams that maybe I wouldn't put in this boat, but I would almost say most teams, you put Giannis on that team and they become a team that could potentially make a big playoff run. And if he goes to a good team, you become like a championship favorite to me. I think he's still that good.
Which goes into the topic of goes into the topic of Milwaukee says they
Mm-hmm.
are I don't know if you have this one written down. Milwaukee says they're confident they can keep him and make him happy, that they can make a big trade, which makes me think, okay, Ja Morant's name is out there.
Yep.
I don't know if Michael Porter Jr. is the name to make. Hey, Giannis, we got Michael Porter Jr. Yeah,
See, I think I'm high like that. If I'm Giannis, I'm like, hell yeah. Like I think Michael Porter
well,
Jr. hasn't even hit his ceiling yet.
well, I mean, yeah, you get another score, but still, like, if I'm Giannis, I'm like, I want to stay here, win championships. Like, okay, we brought him DeMar DeRozan for you, like, or Michael Port, like,
Yeah, yeah.
I think John Morant's like a name where you're like, okay, I can get behind that, but I mean, we they did bring in Dame, and we
True.
saw how that worked out. So it's like, who are they talking about? What deal do you think they can make to make Giannis happy right now? Like, what names are they talking about? Like, can't be Jimmy Butler now
Yep.
because
I
he's out for the season.
I think someone that can. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. still to me, you threw that out there, is a really enticing type of a player, but I don't think it needs to be him. If they were to get anybody that really can, one, score on any given night, and two, stretch the floor out, because I think that that's part of the problem that we see even from, I shouldn't even say the problem. That's what Giannis needs, right? He needs someone that he's able to drive, and this guy can get the ball in the wing, either drive slash or pull up. Michael Porter Jr. kind
Triple
of fits
J.
that. Okay, I mean that I he might clog up a little bit more down low. But like DeMar DeRozan doesn't really do that for me, right? John Morant could. I mean, he's a point guard. I think that could be a little bit different, but even still, he's a guy that likes to drive. Like I don't know if there's, and this might be feeding right into your point. I don't know if there's that many names that if we just act like Michael Porter Jr. doesn't exist, because I'm clearly very high on whatever team gets him. But like, I don't think there's many names that Giannis is like, that is a perfect fit, you know? So that's kind of tough. But also, Giannis may be thinking, hey, just show me that you want to move in the right direction, Milwaukee. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be this move, but show me that you are committed to making some moves, and he might just stay. And all those teams that waited, it's kind of like, we missed the boat.
Yeah, I guess the more you talk about it, yeah, Michael Porter Jr. might be the best addition, but this I think the splashiest play is a Ja Morant.
I agree. I think that Ja and Giannis could run the floor on every team every night, and it's going to be like holy crap, you know what I mean? Like if they hit a groove, that's going to be tough to stop. Might be a big if, but truly.
And the asking price for John Morant, I think, is much more easier to attain. Like we haven't heard an asking price for Michael Porter Jr.
Right.
We've just heard that he was potentially a target for the Warriors, which they came out and said that that was not true. Which a lot of stuff has come out over the past week that was not true, apparently.
Yeah. I still think that there's a chance for some of that stuff. Like if the Warriors, and do you want to transition a little bit into the Warriors here? Unless you have more
Yeah, we can
Giannis?
go into it because
All right.
yeah, there's
So
that guy.
yeah. Let me say the Michael Porter Jr. thing real quick, and then we'll talk about Jimmy being out for the year, okay? Because Michael Porter Jr., if the Warriors weren't interested in Michael Porter Jr., I don't know what they're doing. Like that is if you were to be like, let's dream up a player here. Okay, a guy that has some length, guy that has some pop to him, a guy that can shoot the ball, but he's not solely a shooter, a guy that can give you, a guy that can go off for 40 or whatever. A guy that also is, like I said, he has some length. He's not the worst defender. Michael Porter Jr. is like the NBA random player that if you put in those details, it would spit out at you. If the Warriors weren't in on him or aren't in on him, there might be something we're missing, or at least I'm missing about Michael Porter Jr. because he seems like a perfect fit. But that's,
And
I guess,
playoff experience.
yeah, he has a ring. Like it, yeah, it's maybe that's neither here nor there. But we do have the news, Jordan, that Jimmy Butler last night out for season. And I kind of made the joke before we started recording or going live. I was like, is this the end of the Warriors? Like, if they don't make a move, you had said how Steph's old, Draymond's freaking Draymond. Like, where do they stand now? So, I mean, I know you mentioned some guys they can get, but what's the status of the Golden State Warriors right now?
I didn't say he was old. I said he's older. and
Okay,
and it's
true,
like,
true.
I mean, he is your franchise player. He is selling jerseys, but at what point do we say like a Steph-led team isn't a championship contender anymore? And now you have Jimmy Butler, who's injured for the year, and they're saying they're willing to trade him, which I'm not sure what his contract details are.
He
I think
is a free agent. Let's see. He's signed through this year, and then it looks like through next year, if I have that correctly.
okay.
58, 56 milli, 55-ish for the next 2 years each year cap hit. So that's a tough one to bounce around.
Yeah, I don't know who would want that for the rest of the year. But yeah, apparently they're going to try to trade him, or they want to trade him because he can't help you out this year. And Steph is 36, so yeah, I think you got to go for a guy like Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, John Morant is not going to help you out there.
Yep.
Maybe you go for Triple J if they're willing to part with him. It's really whoever is going to want Jonathan Kuminga. Uh, guys, we have a set amount of topics here, and I just keep like jumping into the next one, and Ev's just like,
No, talk Jonathan Kuminga because I think we at least agree on this one for sure.
I mean, it's just a part of this as well. It just goes into the flow of this. And
Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga's in his fifth season, where he was drafted. I know he was a lottery pick, but like it wasn't like crazy. But everyone's been talking about Jonathan Kuminga and his potential. He's still 23 years old, but he's always been this hot topic about like, when is he going to break out? When is he going to be that guy? And it's just like me and Ev were talking about like, what's the infatuation on Jonathan Kuminga? Like, the league talks about him as this trade piece, and like he's going to be like the next Giannis
Right.
or LeBron. Like it's maybe not LeBron, but he's got a lot of hype to him, and we
Like
were
he is
talking.
he is a key trade piece to solidify them in a deal of getting someone that is like a Giannis person. Like that's just a hypothetical, but like that's how he's been reportedly talked about. Like, oh, they'd be willing to part ways with Jonathan Kuminga to bring in someone. It's like willing to. I get that he's young and good, but you're willing to like okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we keep hearing, this is the breakout year for him. And we have these guys in the NBA. And I mentioned to Ev, Anthony Simons kind of had that, like raw talent. And I think he's in like his eighth year or something.
He's been in the league for that's what we said. I think we were live when we talked about it last week. I was like, I think that's what Portland does to somebody though. It's
Right,
like you
yeah,
you don't realize Anthony Simons has been around for a while.
and he's still just like raw, and it's like when is he going to have that breakout? I've talked about Evan Mobley,
Yep.
still 23, and every single year I hear like, okay, this is the year. He just needs to put on more muscle. But no, he's not putting on more muscle. He is hitting more threes, but it's like we have these guys in the league that just, and people always make the Ben Simmons joke like, oh, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Uh, we have these guys that teams just talk about with raw talent, and there's just so much infatuation on these guys, and Jonathan Kuminga is one of them. And like, why do you guys really think, and I can't see the chat, do you guys really think like Jonathan Kuminga is someone who's going to like turn your franchise around? Like, are you willing to give up Michael Porter Jr. for Jonathan Kuminga? Like, is that really what's going to change the Nets? Jonathan Kuminga and Cam Thomas?
I'm gonna start a
Like,
poll. I'm gonna say, is Jonathan Kuminga a franchise altering player?
because the I think it was Poly Market, the it started to go down that he was going to be potentially traded. It's still high. I think it was in the 60s that he was going to be traded, and his relationship with Steve Kerr isn't good. I heard it's unrepairable, was the word. So like apparently he doesn't get along with coaches. It's like, do you want that guy? I've heard him rumored for so many different teams.
Well, and doesn't like, oh, you are a you're not getting along with your coach. Regardless if you think that would cascade into your franchise, that ruins leverage in a trade. Like, hey, we know that you don't want this guy. We're not going to give you asking price because you clearly don't want him in the locker room. The only guy that's vouched for Kuminga has been Draymond Green. I don't think that that's like, if I'm getting a job or going for an interview, I'm as much as Draymond Green has the championships and has the like, I'm not asking him for a character reference. You know what I mean? So it's like it's tough. And Jonathan Kuminga could make me and you look like an idiot in due time. But either way, the way they're talking about him right now, I don't think makes sense. So in the right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Like, hey Giannis, we got the guy. We got you, Jonathan Kuminga. You want to stay?
He's like,
Like,
yes.
yeah, he's like, oh my gosh, that guy has so much potential. Like, thank you so much. What do we give up for him? It's like, oh, we gave up our future for Jonathan Kuminga, but we got the guy. Like, that's the big splash. Like, I don't get it, and I think he was drafted around the same time as Moses Moody as well. We don't hear much hype around Moses Moody. It's always Jonathan Kuminga,
Yeah.
and he's tied. He's normally tied to like the Lakers, and it's just like, really, what does he bring? So what's the poll looking like? I don't have the chat open right now.
The poll is a whopping 93% no, 7% yes. So the 7% out there, I guess you guys are in you're in the boat of Jonathan Kuminga actually could, alter a franchise. Maybe altering a franchise is like a strong way of me putting it, but guys, like if you're on X, like that's kind of how they've been talking about this guy. Like even me saying the Warriors are willing to part ways with Kuminga makes it sound like they are willing to part ways with like a family heirloom, which is crazy.
So yeah, now you have Jonathan Kuminga you're willing to part ways with, and you have Jimmy Butler. So maybe they are waiting. Maybe they could bring in a Giannis
Yeah,
with that contract. I don't know why the Bucks would do that unless they just unless he asked out.
that's what I think
And
it is too. Yeah.
I think that's the only way you really make that deal. I mean, Steph with Giannis, that's pretty
It's
insane.
that's deadly, and we've seen like the jersey swaps for years of Giannis is going to be a warrior. I think Reg may have just solved the. He might have cracked the case here. I think like the reason he's franchise altering is because of like he guy dyes his hair, and you don't teach you can't teach that. That's
That's
just talent.
confidence.
That
I
is
can't do
confidence.
that.
You cannot teach that. That is very very true. Um, but I think we're kind of in the same boat about him. We did see Karl-Anthony Towns, one quick one, potentially being traded. My only take on this is if the Knicks trade Towns, they pretty much go hand up. We botched the DiVincenzo and Randall trade because you don't go a few years removed from that and say, hey, we got the star in that deal and See ya, buddy. Depends on what they get for him, but I think it's a pretty bad look to go and trade that guy. Right? Maybe it's better for them because he's their X factor, and maybe the X isn't big enough for them. But like, I think that like you're telling me that the Timberwolves aren't going like giggling like schoolgirls if they trade Towns. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, we got to take a look at the teams interested. So it's
Yeah,
the Magic, the Hornets, and the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are just everywhere. I imagine the Grizzlies, you're getting Triple J back. You you
yep.
don't want John Morant.
I don't think that he'd work that well, right?
Yeah, with Brunson.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because Brunson's not the guy that's going to get you 10 assists a night.
True, but
You
is
get
Brunson? But can Brunson play off ball at all either? Which is like
right.
probably not. So it's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, you'd want Triple J, you'd want Coward, you'd want Santi Aldama.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's a big trade. The Magic, I mean, Franz Wagner. Like, who you giving? Who's Magic giving up?
No, I don't think. I
Anthony
don't think that
Black.
they. I don't think they'd touch Paolo or Franz. Which I mean, even Paolo's lost his steam in my book a little bit. But like Anthony Black, maybe a guy that has some of the most potential that people have seen when given opportunity. Like, why would the Magic trade those guys for Cat? You know what I mean? Because Karl-Anthony Towns right now to me is not a guy that turns something around. He's like a cherry on top of a good situation. That's kind of how I'm viewing him. And I do like Cat. There was a long time ago, a decade ago, when this guy was rumored to go to the Celtics and stuff like that. I've always been a Cat guy because I think he's one of the most talented guys in the league, being that big, that crafty, that coordinated, that zesty. But I do think that at this point in his career, it's like he's not the guy, and you need to have like the guy on your team for him to really be that good. And we just saw like the Knicks looked like it was a decent enough situation, and they're not getting over the hump. Now I may be talking out of my ass, maybe they go on a run or whatever. But like to me, he needs to be like a drop in the ocean to a team, which is crazy to say, versus like a hey, you give up all of your core and let's build around him. I don't see it like that anymore.
Well, I was thinking the team that makes the most sense is the Hornets, uh, but you're gonna have to give up some of your young talent.
Yeah.
And is Lamelo, someone you want to trade? Um, is Brandon Miller, Concanipple? Like, who are you giving up? Uh, Definitely
I don't
Miles
think
Bridges.
I don't think I'm giving up any of them. Miles Bridges, maybe. I don't think I'm giving up though that young. I don't even know if I'd give up Ryan Kalkbrenner for in a deal with
Yes,
Karl-Anthony
you are.
Towns. I don't
You're
know.
trading.
He's good.
You're trading Ryan Kalkbrenner
If it was
for
straight up,
Karl.
sure, sure. But I don't think I'm touching the three, the backcourt with Knipple or Bridges as well. I don't think that I'm touching that. Like that team, like that's exactly the type of team that I'm talking about. If he goes there, it's like the Hornets go from like here to here in terms of how good they are. They might as well bank on the young guys to hopefully go boom versus we traded some of these young core and go a little uptick. Like Towns doesn't make the Hornets a playoff team or championship contender in my dumb brain at least.
I mean, it sounds like the Hornets they're really feeling themselves right now, and they
They
want to
are
go all in, and they do need a center, and they do have Kalkbrenner. It's just
stud. Had to
it,
catch his oops. He's like Luke Cornett and him for no other reason than the alley oop catching. I love both of those guys.
which is funny because here in Charlotte, we have the AAA team for the White Sox, the Charlotte Knights, and three guys were coming to sign autographs, and it was Con Knipple, Sion James, and Ryan Kalkbrenner. And I was like, do I really want to go buy a ticket just for Con Knipple? I was like, I don't care about those other guys, and now I'm putting in bets on like Sion James for like a couple of assists, and like he's cashing, and I'm like, I probably should have went and just got those guys autographs. It was worth like a standing only ticket.
That's funny. Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean, he's a sneaky like not lockup guy, but that dude can play some defense. Not that we have to get into Sion, but
yeah. I mean that team, I don't know if they're a big piece away, but they're gonna be a problem in the
Yeah.
future. And I if I'm the Hornets, I don't know if and this might be a hot take. I don't know if I want LaMelo Ball to be my guy.
See, I think I do. I think Lamelo is like you tell me he's healthy, right? Is that something we can just agree on here, or is that part of the reason why you don't like him? Because if you
I mean,
say Lamelo's going to be healthy, I'm in. That I think he's so talented. I don't know if he got his has to be the guy, but I think that guy is a point guard and a half.
I think he has to be the guy. Like it's either he's the guy or he's not going to accept it. I mean, you're in Charlotte.
Good point. That's a fair point. I don't think he has like second. I think he's got main character syndrome for
Yeah.
sure.
So I personally don't know if I would want Lamelo to be my guy, and that's why I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know if the Knicks would want him, but like if you get a like a Lamelo equal at the center position, and then you start Colin Sexton at point
Okay.
guard, I think I'd feel a little bit better about that because I don't see like LaMelo Ball, and this could age like milk. Like I don't see LaMelo Ball like leading me to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then I'm in a Game 7. And I'm like, okay, yeah, LaMelo got me here. Like,
Yeah.
and then going to the finals. But I probably would have said that about Tyrese Halliburton a year ago.
Fair.
So
Uh,
yeah, I know we just jumped over to the Hornets when
hey,
it's all about
they're one of the most fun teams in the league right now. I
yeah
will say
when
that.
But yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns, when I think of the Knicks, I think of a tough team, just because the Cavaliers have run into them multiple
Yeah,
times. And I don't see Karl-Anthony Towns as
that's
a
fair.
tough guy.
I think most would agree with that.
Like if I'm the same size as him and like I run into him in an alleyway and then he wants to like square up, like, and hopefully he's not watching this because I am not his size.
I think you still take him.
Like I'm worried more about Mitchell Robinson than
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns. So yeah, when I think like Jalen Brunson, I think like killer mentality. Same thing with Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, not so much Mikal Bridges. I think it about OG.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think then you throw Karl Anthony Towns in the mix. He doesn't quite fit, which that trade still doesn't make total sense to me.
I see.
And
So
we
I thought that was. I actually made an Instagram video earlier today because I was like, at the time, I thought that trade made not made sense, but I did think both teams got something, and I feel like that's rare in the NBA where you're like, oh, both like you could hear out an argument from either side. You know what I mean? And almost because I agreed with you about, especially with Tibbs being the coach at that time, like, oh, this Knicks team's a grindy, whatever, like a gritty team. I almost thought, hey, getting a guy like Towns gives them like polish and finesse and all this, and then it's like, oh, but you don't get now. You might not just fit in with the other guys in terms of like how they're playing and how they go down by 5 points, how they get out of it, and that type of thing. But I did think that trade was like a not a 50-50, but I did get it at the time. It's kind of that's aging like milk because I think Randall likes it over there. They have two starters now, DiVincenzo and Randall. But I didn't mean to get you off track, but I do think that trade I kind of got it in a sense.
Yeah, and I mean he's hurt for the year, but I would say, and before he started whining about everything last year, I would say Jimmy Butler for Karl Anthony Towns would make sense because now you got a 3-point shooter, outside as a center, and then you bring in Jimmy Butler, who was a tough defender. Like that makes more sense to me, but he's out for the year now, which just sucks, for the Warriors. They're starting to get things going and everything. But yeah, now you don't make that trade. But I don't. Looking at these teams, I think the Hornets make most sense. Grizzlies probably not unless they give up the house. And then the Magic, like you do need more shooting because like Paulo is not that guy, Franz isn't that guy.
Yep.
So yeah, I just don't know what you necessarily give up for that. I do think Jalen Suggs is a tough defender. Um, but he's not a 1-for-1 with Karl Anthony Towns. So
Right.
yeah, you'd have to give up a little bit more. Um, but yeah, do we have anyone in the chat for Karl Anthony Towns where he would be a good fit?
Yeah.
Would he be a good fit for Jonathan Kuminga? Would that be a good trade? Because maybe Jonathan Kuminga is just really tough. That's what we're missing.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Kuminga could kind of fit in New York. Would that be like their dream scenario? No, I think if you they better hoped like when you said JJJ or Triple J, I think that that is like a talent caliber. Like if they, I think that they are almost not to say punting, but if they get rid of Towns for less talent in a sense or a lot less talent, then it's almost like a team that really had high hopes is saying didn't work out. We can get something for him because it's going to be hard to get someone better or as good, truly talent wise. I know I've spent like the last 10 minutes ragging on him, but like talent wise, it's going to be really hard to get someone that is as good as him.
I mean, I talked about squaring him up in an alleyway, so like,
True. Yeah, but you did eventually like, yeah, but he would beat me if we were. So you gave him a
well,
little bit of credit.
7 feet tall, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. No, you just run through his legs and turn around. We've seen that in movies before. You got him. You got the blueprint.
Look at LaMelo better than Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I mean, look at Fat Boy is Fat Boy, I believe, was the one that missed the appointment last week. Am I correct? He says
Overrated.
LaMelo's overrated. I think that's like a 50-50 topic because I do like LaMelo, but I think right now he is overrated. Like I almost see the ascension of him in the next couple of years if he stays healthy. But Jordan is a little bit more of a realist, I would say, about that right now because what has he really proven overall?
I think when you want a face of the franchise, like, do you want Con Knipple taking the final three, or do you want LaMelo Ball taking that final three to win the game?
See, that's I don't know. I really do. I'm saying I don't know. Like Konkanipple is a really good shooter, but Lamelo, like if someone has to create their own shot to win the game, I would pick Lamelo over Konkanipple. You know?
All right, fair enough
Yeah.
for the
Um,
Hornets.
should we are running a little. Should we get into some comments or Q&A or anything that people in the chat want to talk about?
Yeah, I
Did we hit
think my
on?
chat's like frozen.
Uh
Someone said Knipple.
oh.
Dude, he can score. Like I did
Yeah.
not pick Duke in March Madness. I had Florida to win it all. So Duke was scaring the crap out of me. And every time Concanepple got the ball, that dude was knocking down a mid-range shot. Like he did not miss. Like
He's not just a shooter either. I know I just said like I'd rather Lamelo break a guy down, create his own shot, but Knipple is a he's bigger than I think people think. Like people that haven't watched the Hornets are probably like, oh, he's like a not a small, but like a mid-sized white shooter. It's like he's a little beefier and taller than people think. He's a scorer, not just a shooter. He's
yeah,
definitely a really good shooter, but he is also a scorer too.
someone said Cat to Cleveland.
Would you like
Man,
that as a okay, let me just paint this, right? You would have to give up something, right? Obviously Jared Allen would be out of there. What would you say, just as your Cleveland knowledge? It'd be Jared Allen, and then you probably have to give up something else in there, right? Like New York isn't going to be like Jared Allen for Cat. So if you had to give up another piece, one, what would it be? And then two, would that be worth it to Cleveland? Because I know you got some
well,
gripes with Cleveland, but go ahead.
Jared Allen thinks the lights are too bright in New York. So I that'd be interesting. Um, I think they would want Jared Allen and then like a Jalen Tyson. I think fits in New
Yep,
York.
yep.
Just the way he plays, hustle guy, defends well, can knock
I think
down
that's
the
a good call.
three. I think I I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would accept it as the way Mobley's knocking down the three right now. You put Karl-Anthony Towns out there, the lane becomes wide open.
Fair.
So I think that's what they kind of have to give up.
Yeah, do you think is Mo like I'm sorry, not Mobley, Allen? I feel like he hasn't been the rim protector that he's been in years past this year either. Like he hasn't been as this like dominant like don't come in here type guy. So I feel like it's already more wide open than it would get more. I'm not arguing with you that it would be less wide open or more wide open with Cat. Like I think it would, but I almost think like it's still already a point of concern. If you just get a better offensive talent, it might be a net win. I don't know. I'm not as ingrained or intertwined into Cavs basketball as you are, obviously.
Well, I think the analytics came out that with Evan Mobley at center, the Cavaliers are so much better instead of playing
Really?
the two bigs. So, and I think the traditional center is dying. I mean,
Fair. Yep.
Allen's literally out there for like an offensive rebound here and there and a putback, and then the pick and roll for a dunk. Your alley oop guys,
Yep.
like that's also like I never see them give it down to Allen and post up with his back to the basket. Like it now, it's that little floater, like the Isaiah Hartenstein floater. That's all centers are really doing now. There's not many guys are posting up unless they get a mismatch. Like you see even like forwards get on guards and they're posting up now. But the traditional center is kind of dying, and I think the Cavaliers should kind of give up on the too big strategy. It's just not working.
Yeah.
Well, that technically bring in Karl-Anthony Towns would, they'd still run the too big lineup. So I would hope that they get a forward or a bigger guard for Jared Allen.
Yeah.
But I don't hate that trade if they got
No.
Karl-Anthony Towns.
And RCO, we Jordan said like it'd probably take Jalen Tyson too, maybe. It might even take more, to be honest. Like throwing picks and stuff. But in terms of personnel, I do think that like getting Cat for Allen, like kidding, anyone would do that. But I think that you'd have to give up a little bit more.
Dean Wade.
Yeah, Sound says Tyson would be a good fit in New York. He does. He definitely can fit into. We've seen it now with, like when he has the opportunity, like into a strong 3-and-D type of a guy too, right? Like definitely a D guy, but he's been jacking threes as well. So sure. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. And that one wasn't even intentional. I swear.
Killing me. Yeah, every time I pick Tyson, he does not show up. So it's literally like if you look at his numbers, it's like you can tell when I put him in a video. Like it's just,
the strongest correlation.
Right. Every time
Well,
I mention him.
Like we said, you're working for the books. It's been
apparently
it has been clear.
The books are working with YouTubers. They give us calls. Yeah. That's just stupid.
Yeah. All right, we got a few minutes left here. If you guys have any, let's do some chat interaction. Jordan, is this chat still frozen for you on your end, or are you able to see it?
I had it paused.
Well, you weren't lying. You said my chat is frozen. My chat is frozen. It was.
I went to my notes.
Yourself.
I went to my notes to see who was trade or look interested in Karl-Anthony Towns, and then it froze the live.
I gotcha. Okay.
So
gotcha. Well, anyways, guys, go ahead and drop any questions, comments. It can be any plays for tonight or something like that, or if you are curious about I guess anything that's going on with us, or maybe where Jordan's going to be posting his videos and stuff like that for the next coming week. Go ahead and drop them in there. Let's see. Ja says, what's your guys' best plays for the NFL playoffs this weekend? I just started my research this week. I'm a Patriots fan, so I'm incredibly biased. But I don't have like a best. I would just be probably leading you astray. I do like the idea of Ramondre Stevenson, if healthy, receiving yards. So far.
I don't have any bets, guys. I stopped doing NFL in week 6. I was working a full-time job. I couldn't do 2 videos a night.
Fair.
Like if you're putting in 4 hours into an NBA video doing NFL, it just doesn't work out. So, and then when I was laid off, I didn't want to be that guy who just like jumps back in, late season. You'd be like, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this. So yeah, I didn't want to do that. I'm maybe a Super Bowl special. I don't know if you guys remember. Maybe we can get a couple guys back on. 2 years ago, we had it was me
2?
and Ev.
Yeah, 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do it last year. It was 2 years ago. I know, long time flies.
Yeah.
We had Calling Our Shot, Austin there, and we had Steven from Just Bet Outside out there. Gave 1 bet each.
Yep.
Gave some long shot predictions, but we could try to work that out.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Austin's really busy, ESPN. I think at the time he was just on ESPN, so we were just like, dude, you're on ESPN and everything.
Yeah. Danny says, I mean, you don't have to get too personal about this. He says, Jordan, are you still planning on doing this full time? I feel like Jordan has been crushing it, but like I feel like a lot of people, not to say people sounds like I'm diminishing people in the comments and stuff, but it's a little bit harder. Not even a little. It's a lot harder than people would think. Like when I made that switch, I was really, really scared. I know this question isn't for me, but it's not as like daisies and sunshines and rainbows as people think. Anyways, Jordan, go ahead and take away the question that was literally directed at you that I hijacked.
No, no, I mean you did it. Like you're like, I'm going to just dive into the deep end. I don't care how cold it is. And you did it. And you found out the water was warm and you're still doing it. For me, it's tough because you fear days like this, and I, no offense to Ed, but you don't have a family you have to
Yep.
like look out for. Like you don't have
Yep.
a child you see in the morning. You need to get diapers for. You need to feed and all that. So potentially, yeah, I don't know if I can do this full time just because I don't sell picks. I don't have a premium or anything like that. You guys have known my stance on that for a long time. I do think there are premium guys out there who work really hard and they do give solid stuff. But I do think there's a lot of toxic people out there who sell picks and
More
it's just
than
predatory.
way more than like the ratio is crazy
It's
and like
awful.
and you're
So
yeah.
yeah, so we basically we get like the YouTube, we get stuff from the videos. You Google will pay us, just it's not much, and then we just rely on like promo codes and stuff like that. That's why you see me mention it in videos, and that is a reason why my video got taken down, because of talking about that stuff. So it's just relying on someone to sign up for something isn't enough for me to be like, yeah, I can live off this and feed my family. It's good for like DoorDash here and there, if I want to be a little bit lazy stuff like that. But I have pretty good resume. 10 years in banking and analytics and stuff like that. And I think for me it'd be kind of a waste to just be like, hey, I'm gonna be a content creator, and like there's nothing bad about that, especially in this day and age.
Hmm.
Like you have to be like a content creator doing full time. Like you got to work hard, and you see Ev like everywhere. I get on Instagram, and he's everywhere. Uh, so you just got to grind, and I'm sure he's working more hours than he was with his previous job. Um,
That
and you
is
just
one of the
gotta
more funny things that like I literally thought when I made this switch 2 years ago in the jump, I was like, all right, now I'm gonna have more time to do X, Y, and Z. And it's crazy. I'm sure we have people in the chat too that like have worked for themselves and stuff, not necessarily content, but it's like the minute that it's on your back, it's like, oh no, no, there's not like a kick your feet up on the couch moment now just because you quit your job. Like it is a grind and it's very situation dependent.
Yeah, and for me, I'm in a spot where like I'm getting severance and it's like a trial run. And today was a kind of a reality check of like, what would this be if I wasn't, getting insurance and I was having to pay that on my own, and my whole family was relying on people to put a promo code in.
Yeah.
It's I basically the answer is I don't think so. I'm gonna put my resume out there. I'm gonna try and find a job, but I'm gonna be a lot more picky. Not I don't know how many people work in the corporate world, but it's very like hierarchy based. Like I was in a spot where it was like you couldn't talk to your manager's manager. You had to go to your manager, and then they had to talk to him, and then they had to
And
go back
God
to
forbid you have a problem with your manager, then all of a sudden it's like bites you more in the ass if you did try to skip the rung or something like that.
right. And it's like, why can't I just email your manager? I just have
Yeah.
one question. It's like, no, we got to make a PowerPoint presentation for them. It's all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to go in that world. I definitely have more flexibility to do something more relaxed, which makes this a lot easier because when I was doing this with a full time job, I was working the full time job. I had maybe, a couple hours to eat dinner and see my family. And then I was staying up till about 3 in the morning to wake up. No, I wasn't an accountant. I was
But that's
I was
you are the
I was an
financial guy.
analytics
That's why you
guy.
go with the numbers.
I
But
was an
yeah,
analytic. My dad's an accountant. Uh, but but yeah, I was staying up till 3 in the morning, then waking up at like 6. Like it was awful trying to do this at the same time. So I'm definitely gonna try something more relaxed. So I don't think it's gonna be full time for me. just because I got a family and everything. And today was kind of a just like a hammer on like
Yeah, it
this could be
was,
your future where you don't make anything for a week, and I just would have to live with that. So that's
well,
the answer.
I will say, regardless of that decision or not, I think that we're both. I think you got it in you. So I am confident in it. That doesn't mean that it needs to be the move or something like that. But I do think this comment's pretty like spot on too. Like representing the community in the right way. I think that that's kind of the best way of putting it. I think that probably Jordan. That's why we like hit it off and why we like. I think we both talk to each other more than anyone else, obviously, in the industry. Like we were texting business stuff right up until getting on this call, where it's like we could have just waited until we would talk, but we were texting about it. But that's because there is like so many sour apples that it's like when you find a little bit of a refreshing something like that, you build your own little network, and it's pretty cool in a sense. Not to sound corny, but it is pretty cool to have people that like kind of see whether it's apple to apple or just a similar vision. I think it is very cool, and I think that as long as you're genuine, I'm genuine. I think that you guys watching and people that have been following just part of our communities for a while. I think that is nothing but apparent through the screen. You know what I mean? Because we both understand that there's a screen, but there's people watching, and I kind of said that at the beginning of the show too. It's not just like a
Yeah,
number. There's humans out there.
right. And I think I know we're over an hour, but I think me and Ev, we enjoy the betting thing and diving into the numbers and all that stuff and talking about sports. I think both of us would like to eventually get into the world of just talking about sports and not having to rely on the whole betting aspect. And, I mean, we would still do that probably, but we would like to become the guys who talk about sports and give bets. And then we're not necessarily relying on promo codes from betting companies. We'd have other people coming to us saying, "Hey, we would like to, actually give you money to talk about our product for 60 seconds or something like that." Like
Mhm.
that's much more reliable than use my promo code. Like I got a jersey here with my promo code now. Uh, so like uh, it's just really tough right now. It's just not reliable, not a fixed income, and he's doing it and he's doing great. I don't think I can do that, but eventually we would like to talk more about just sports, and
Yep.
I think that's a dream for a lot of people. Like make some money talking about sports, but I think even then, unless things just blew up for the both of us, I think I'd still be working a full-time job
Well, there
with
we go.
me
There's the
building my
show's
resume.
there's the show's mantra. Just blow up this channel, blow up this show, so we can prove Jordan wrong. How's that? How's that? But yeah, I know we are over. Obviously, guys, we'll talk sports. We'll talk. We didn't really get to anyone's picks or anything really today, but this show, I think Jordan, you'd agree, is kind of designed for us to be able to chop it up, talk about things that are trending. Obviously, we got a little bit more serious towards the end here too, but like ideally, this is another outlet for you guys. Obviously, you see what you see on our channels normally, but another outlet where you're just kind of seeing more. This is live, not edited. We're just talking, two people talking. Like if you were at a table with us, similar conversation and stuff, which I think is a great goal. And it kind of piggybacks what Jordan just said about just talking about something that we all have in common, regardless of betting, sports. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything else you want to leave the people with here today. Maybe kind of in case anyone missed it at the beginning, tell them where to find you for the next week or so.
Well, there's actually a 60-second delay, and I missed out cutting out the part where Ev said that Jalen Tyson is more of a D guy. So it's not really live. I'm kidding, guys. But I'll be posting on this channel for the next week. While I can't do any. I can't even do a community post to you guys on my real channel. I can't even tell you that it's happening. So I'll be posting here. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to be a 4 hour analysis like I normally do. It's probably going to be maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm going to put into it to find a couple of picks for you guys that I really like for the day, just because it's just not going to be worth it to do 4 hours. And that's just me being real with you. I'm not going to
Yep.
sit there and say, "Hey guys, I put 4 hours into this," when really it's an hour and a half. So it's going to be on here just to kind of I wanted to know what's going on. I don't want to, just take a whole week off and then just be like, okay, I'm jumping back into it. Oh my gosh, look what's, Jimmy Butler's out for the year. When did that happen? And stuff like that. So I'm pretty much doing it just so I can stay up to date. And I said a lot of stuff, and when we just wanted to close out in 30 seconds. So
hey, it is all good. I think that is. I think that is very fair. But I do appreciate everyone tuning in. We're going to continue to grow this thing and continue to adapt and have some fun with it. And I know that we're both kind of aligned in that. So really do appreciate all of you guys. And yeah, catch us in the next one. We'll be, I believe, live here again on Tuesday. So catch you in the next one, right? Peace out.
see you guys.